Hello! In this lesson we'll learn to draw our character's design and compose them for our final illustration. So we create a new layer in the blank canvas, and here we'll start drawing our first character. In this case it will be the singer and main guitar player of the band. We'll use a thinner body stereotype like the one we saw in the last lesson. However, instead of doing a pear-shaped body, you'll see how I draw the body in a more athletic way, but inside a very thin body. He will have very long limbs and a quite tall body. This way it'll give a sense of being even more straight-shaped. Remember to start always by fitting your character. Start with the basic circles, the basic geometric boxes, and the action lines. This way we have the foundations of our character before putting on any detail. Our character will be named Rudolph. He's Rudolph's twin brother, one of Santa's reindeers. However, this character is the family's black sheep, so to speak, and he turned out being punk and quite rebel, so we'll do the illustration and design of an angry and mischievous reindeer, so to speak. Based on these ideas, we'll design the character's head separately from the main illustration structure, so this way we have an idea of his expressions or views. Since this character has a more alternative and rocker look, we'll be able to add earrings, plug piercings, more aggressive expressions, etc. With all these, we'll have a very cool character design for one of our Antichristmas. Once we have the design of one of our heads, we'll fit it into the perspective we set for our character. Remember that since we've drawn the head looking up, in this case we'll have to consider the mouth size, the ear's direction, etc. All of this is very important when applying the previous design of the head to our final character. We'll add some big reindeer's antlers so we have the proper sense of the type of character we're drawing. Now, bit by bit, we'll establish our character's pose inside some more or less humanized features. Though we'll draw hooves instead of feet and that kind of details, we have to consider that we're actually drawing the character standing, and a reindeer could never stand. These are resources we can use when drawing humanized animals. We establish a completely human-like body, but the legs or particular limbs, tail, etc., or the head, we make them exactly animal-like. Good! The next character will be the one we have with a thicker type of body. We're going to establish first the main pose of the character, and later we'll add the anatomic details we studied in the previous lesson. As you see, I draw a very big belly to exaggerate the character, and I lowered the arms a lot because the legs go all the way down. Usually the hand should reach halfway the thigh, thinking about real proportions. That's why the arms are going to be that big. I start making the pose as if it was holding the bass guitar. This will be our bass guitar player in the band. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of our character. His name will be Snowster. Snowster is a mix of snowman and monster, a bit of a pun. We're going to inspire on Oogie Boogie's face in order to establish our character's facial expression, though we put real eyes on it instead of empty holes. Snowster's story is that they made him an extremely ugly snowman, and he got super pissed. So ever since, he's so pissed he wants to get revenge from all the Christmas people. But he channels all his negative energy inside the rock band, just as Rudolph does. As you see here on the right, we're creating our character Snowster's head. We're setting very exaggerated, aggressive, ugly features so it looks like a monster, and at the same time as a terrible character. We're going to add the typical elements of a snowman, like the carrot nose and the top hat. Once we have done the face study, we apply it in perspective and the pose we've established for our character. As you see, the head is in the same direction as the body's line of action. This helps us have more dynamism inside the image. This is a little trick. When you're going to make characters with a very peculiar pose, try all things go towards the main direction of the character. This way you'll have more dynamism and a style closer to animation. The last character we'll make is the one with the athletic body stereotype. First thing we'll do is to set the ribcage and draw the legs and the arms. As you can see, it's a quite short character. This is because we're going to draw one of Santa's elves. Notice how the neck is very wide and connects directly with the head. This way it gives a sense of strength. We've done a very small pelvic cavity and an enormous rib cage. The more you exaggerate things, the better they will work most of the time. This will be the drummer of our band. That's why we've set the drumsticks in his hands elevated, forming a cross. I'm going to tell you the story of this character. His name is Loki the Elf. We've chosen Loki because it's a character from the Viking mythology, and our character will be quite metalhead and Viking in that sense. We're going to draw him a big and thick beard, some rude but funny expressions, and it will be a character filled with tattoos. Loki is an elf that tried to work for Santa, but because of his looks, tattoos, piercings, and all these kind of things, he wasn't admitted, because it wasn't the sweet looks they were actually looking for. Because of this, he's channeling all his aggressiveness, negative vibes, and anger towards the music band. Now that we've done the face, we're going to apply his features using the perspective we've set on our character. Despite that metal style, we'll add all the basic elements a Santa Claus elf would wear. The hat is important, the pointy ears too, and when establishing the clothes our character will wear, we'll try, although we set a short sleeve t-shirt on him, to draw on him the typical elf neck, and then, with the color, start applying tones that have something to do with this style. The tights and the feet can also be in a classic elf style. This way we can see the contrast of both parts, the part of a very rocker and rebel character, and the other part of something sweeter and towards Christmas. Once we have the basic anatomy laid out, we can now add some more muscles if we like. For example, on the deltoid muscle zone, the dorsal muscles, etc. If you study something related to anatomy, you'll notice that depending on the character's pose regarding the muscles, there are more protuberances in one place than the other, because the muscles contract and expand. Good, now we'll rapidly copy only our characters inside a canvas, and we'll set all three positions in order to create the final composition of our illustration. We're going to set the singer in the middle and the other characters behind him. As you see, the height of the characters is different, and we will be able to use this on our advantage when creating the illustration. This is how our drawing would look before starting to draw the instruments. In the next lesson, we'll see how to apply the instruments to our characters, and we'll make the second sketch with a bit more detail just before inking. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next lesson.